Hi, we are Mike and Brenda Baker. This is a special edition called Mike's Rant. Although that might not be the title on the video, but I have some things I want to put out there. Brenda and I have talked about it, and you know, it's especially with this coronavirus thing going on, I really want to take a second to, well, it's going to take me more than a second to explain this, but there were some things that became blazingly obvious to me here recently, and I want to talk about it, all right? So, let's be honest. All you guys that are stuck inside, you're watching Netflix, you're watching your Fire TV or binge watching, you're watching Gilmore Girls for the 18th time.
I love Gilmore Girls.
Yes, I've had to watch it myself.
No, you have on purpose.
At least
You've
once.
been sweet.
So there's a show that we watch, okay? And don't look at your spouse and go, how could they watch that? Because
don't judge us.
You know that you have been curious and you have watched it too. Now, I'm cheap. I don't typically buy episodes because we don't have cable. We don't have Dish. We don't have anything. We have Netflix and we have Fire TV. And if that episode's not free, very rarely will I buy it. Mm-hmm. Okay. Not because I'm super cheap. That's just not what I want to spend my money on. However, we have been watching, wait for it, Sister Wives. Now, we've watched Sister Wives for quite some time. Right now, we're only in season 13, and I know I think it's season 14 or 15 now, but 14. We're in season 13, and I am not, let me be very clear, I am not endorsing plural marriage. Not. I'm a very religious guy. I'm not endorsing plural marriage. But if you've watched the show, let's be honest, the Browns are more normal than anybody wanted to admit. What they have done as a family is pretty astounding. And in some respects, they are very much like a blended family. Mm-hmm. Now, on one side, they have, as the Sister Wives, they have decided to put aside the pettiness. Like the bio moms in that group still have somewhat exclusivity to their own kids. That's my big word for the day. However, they call all the women mom. Okay? And so they've put aside that pettiness that you would find quite often in a mixed or in a blended family, and they've made that work. Okay? Now the difference, of course, is there's no exes. All right? Mm-hmm. And we're not going to talk about whether there is or not. But there's no exes. They're kind of a unified unit, all right? And they somewhat have a unified front, even though there's drama. But I want to talk about some of the things that I'm seeing here. Now, granted, this is a TV show. Everybody catches that, right? I don't see the behind the scenes. I can only see what the camera will show me, all right? And one of my gifts, I guess you could say, is I'm a people reader. I can kind of read people across the room and see what's going on. I can determine how I may need to talk to them. It's really helped me in counseling men and whatnot, and my wife's been witness to that. Mm-hmm. And so I'm watching body movements, I'm watching facial expressions, and I'm watching things go out there. Now, to me, marriage is a huge thing as a monogamous man. Now, what does that mean? I know everybody throws out all this stuff. Monogamous means I'm married to one woman, okay? Plural means many wives. So, let's talk about this for a minute. You've got all these problems going on in Sister Wives, and these absolutely apply to what I'm talking about in marriage, okay? Marriage and blended families. You've got one wife with guilt, and that's Meri, let's be honest. I mean, she's all over television. She's got guilt, okay?
For a choice that she made.
Yeah, and so I noticed that people like to point the finger at Meri, right? Maybe you're one of them. Okay, yeah, what she did was not good. I remember hearing her say that she feels super guilty for bringing this on her family. And I think that what you're seeing between her and the other Sister Wives is a result of her own guilt. Mm-hmm. Okay, right or wrong, her own guilt. I want to point out what I think is the problem. I, as a monogamous male, chose when I stepped into my marriage to do everything for my wife I could do. She is not here to satisfy me. I am here as the leader of my house to make sure she has everything she needs and that I can make the best life for her possible. Right?
He does a darn good job too.
All right. So here's my point. Cody Brown will not step up. Okay? He stepped into a plural marriage. And I've heard him say that he feels it's his job to take care of that family, to direct that family, and he still wants his wives to be independent. Do I want you to be independent?
Yes.
I went to Iraq twice. I had the pep talk with her both times. You can do this. You are very independent. And when I came home, she was so independent it caused problems in the marriage that we made it through successfully. And she's still very independent. And that's what I wanted. But I still lead the house. And she still leans on me to lead the house. Okay? But she doesn't need me to lead the house. I lead the house because that's where we're at, and that's the choice that we made. Cody is not doing so. Let me tell you, the problem here is that in this plural marriage that he's got going, he's able to hide from Meri in the other 3 marriages. All right? So in the fact that they've dropped pettiness and they are a type of blended family, as a monogamous male, which is who I'm talking to primarily, you don't have that luxury. When Cody Brown stepped into this family and said, I am going to be the husband, he said, I will take care of you and I will do whatever I have to make this family, these marriages work. And in Meri's case, he has not done that. Now, to a degree, he's admitted that. And this is not a bash Cody Brown, all right? The Browns, as a general rule, are people I would sit down and have dinner with, and I was a little surprised when I watched the show to say that, because I was like, oh, God, this has got to be ridiculous. But it wasn't. These people were, on certain levels, very respectable. I was like, wow, that takes a lot of compromise. That takes a lot of really getting down to what you believe. But in this respect, Cody has let the relationship go. Now, what am I getting at? Yes, he's hiding. Yes, he hasn't stepped up. Yes, this problem with Meri is primarily his fault. He's the head of the house. He is the leader of the household, and he has not done his job as a husband. He's let it go, and he's done nothing but pass judgment and hide within his other marriages. Now, this brings up the thought of renewals. Marriage renewals. I've performed many weddings, okay? And I've done a few renewals. I understand renewals. And I understand why people like them and why they do them. However, renewals have never quite set quite right with me. And I could never really figure it out until Cody Brown. Okay? Look, do you give your spouse the kind of marriage that they need a renewal from? Do you take every day, now I'm talking to the men primarily, okay, but it applies to both of you. Men, do you take every day to give your wife the kind of marriage that she needs a renewal from, or that she does not need a renewal from because it is that solid? If your wife comes to you and says, honey, I think that maybe we should really do a renewal, then you better check yourself, because there's a problem there. There is something that she feels needs reset that's lacking. And you, as a monogamous male, don't have the luxury of Cody Brown and hiding in the other 3 marriages. Now, am I saying he doesn't love them? No, I'm not saying anything about that. I'm not saying anything about that. I'm saying in this one thing, he dropped the ball. Meri needs more than renewal, okay? Meri needs a husband that's going to step up and fulfill the promise he made on the day they got married. That's what he needs. And really, that's what I'm challenging you to. Are you stepping up? Are you giving a marriage worth having? I'm not talking about sacrificing everything that you do for her. You don't have to do that. You may choose to do that. Maybe that's what you want. I'm not going to sit here and critique that. But if your spouse wants a renewal, you need to think about how you're performing every day, because that suggests something about you and your character, you and your time. So, you'll never watch Sister Wives the same again. And that's all I had. So go out, make your remarriage your last marriage. Be that man, be that woman, and have the marriage that you didn't have the first time, but you can have this time. Have a great day.